The results are in from a newly mandated test in Wisconsin.
For the first time in state history, every junior was required to take the ACT last spring. Some local educators say they were not surprised by the results.
In tonight's assignment education report, Lisa looks deeper into the numbers.
Beginning last year, a waiver the state received from the old No Child Left Behind legislation required states to measure every high school student in math and reading as part of an accountability measure. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction chose the ACT to measure all 11th graders. Up until this point, taking the ACT was a choice. Now that all students are required to take the test, the overall composite score has dipped. The ACT is an assessment designed to predict if a student is academically ready for college.
It's part of the credential that a student needs to gain entrance to colleges across the nation.
Do not open them until I tell you to do so.
Up until last spring, students usually only took the ACT if they were college-bound.
It's an admission test based on their score. Schools use it as one of their criteria for admission.
Now, all students are required to take the test.
The state is now using it as the accountability measure for students at the high school level.
Statewide, a higher percentage of students taking the test has resulted in a lower composite score. That is the trend locally as well when comparing the composite score from the spring of 2014 to the spring of 2015 among La Crosse County school districts. The lower score comes as no surprise to area educators.
This drop that every district in the state would see, I would think, is a result of a larger number of students taking the test, and that's a pattern across the country.
Over the past 5 years in Onalaska, between 65 and 74% of students took the ACT.
For Onalaska scores, going down slightly, and we're really proud of our students and our staff and all the people that support students to take tests like this, but other assessments as well. That's just something that comes with 100%, a totally different group taking the test. So there can't be a comparison of old scores to these current scores. That would be apples to oranges, and that wouldn't be right.
So this is our starting point. Now we have some really interesting data that we haven't had before.
Districts throughout the state can now see how prepared all of their students are for life after high school.
We can see what kind of gaps and what opportunities for improvement we have. So there's some really good data to be gleaned from having all students take the test rather than those that were specifically college bound.
And this ACT requirement is also intended to open doors for a population of students who may never have thought college was a possibility for them.
Just had a conversation with one of our principal at the high school about a student that wasn't thinking about college, got their result back and thought, wow, I can do this, I am prepared. That's pretty neat.
The next required ACT test for juniors is scheduled for this spring.
Well, Lisa, some people might remember that the federal government just recently this past month passed some new legislation for education reform. So how does that impact people in Wisconsin?
Yeah, and I'm going to look down here so that I can get the name of the act correct. The new legislation is called Every Student Successful Act. It replaces No Child Left Behind and will continue to require states to hold students accountable, have some type of accountability measure in place. States can choose their own assessment, and last year the state of Wisconsin chose the ACT.
Okay, thanks, Lisa.